Oh, okay.
529.
Good. All right, I'd like to call the meeting of the special meeting agenda for Alpena Public Schools to order. If we would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I believe everybody's had a chance to look over the agenda, so I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make the motion to approve it with amending, also adding board questions, comments after action items.
I would second that.
Motion was moved and seconded to accept the agenda with the amendment to add board question and comment at the end. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it, and the motion carries. At this point, we would offer the floor to citizens or delegations for comment. I would cite that we have reached, let's see here. Individuals addressing the board are asked to state their name, address, and/or group affiliation. Shall direct all comments to the board, not staff or other participants. Shall not make personal attacks against a school board member or school district employee by name. Shall be limited to 3 minutes duration and shall not speak more than once on the same topic unless all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. Do we have anyone that would like to come forward?
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so I, as a staff member, do I recite my home address? Is that correct? Is that correct? Okay, all right. Hello, good evening. My name is Kyle Kalashewski, and to my amazing art students, I'm also known as Mr. K. My home address is 404 South 9th Avenue, Alpena, Michigan, 49707. I'm here both as an off-duty staff member as well as a proud father of a student who is enrolled at APS. My primary purpose for being here is to address the concerns of the Alpena community as I'm reading them publicly posted online and as I am hearing them while out and about. First, I was born here, my heart is here, and it is devoted to our children's safety, well-being, and growth. Second, I understand the concerns being expressed over the nature of the BB pistol incident. I assure you, everything that I did in the classroom that day was with those very same concerns at the forefront of my mind. As a result, I rapidly did what I could to ensure the safety of the children, while simultaneously trying to prevent and limit unnecessary panic and trauma to the kids. From what I observed firsthand, the students left my classroom as happy and as calm as any other class that ends on the last day of school. And I am confident that I accomplished those very important stated goals. Third, as an artist and art educator, I am a very strong proponent for free speech, and I thus do not want my following words to be misinterpreted here. I have found that a significant portion of the public comments that I've read are operating on conjecture and at best through the experiences of children. As with all human beings, they are at least as fallible as adults and definitely more so. I make this observation about children's capabilities with nothing but affection, as it is through their mistakes that they learn and grow and prosper. I am thus asking the public to please consider the possible ramifications to the children that are being publicly discussed. What could those words do to those children should they get back to them? I care about every child of this community, whether they attend APS or not. I want none of them to experience undue harm. And should these public comments reach the kids, they may do precisely that. They are children, they are all vulnerable, and the potential damage caused to them could be life-changing and permanent. Please, going forward, keep that in mind. I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Make sure everybody has an opportunity. All right, seeing no further comments, we'll move to action items. Dave, would you like to speak to this?
Sure. We have the asphalt milling and spreading bid in front of you. Simon can obviously answer any of the specific questions, but essentially we are milling about 3,000 tons from our high school and delivering it to transportation office or transportation center and the central office, and spreading / paving the parking lots there.
Yeah, questions, concerns? Yeah, what we're doing, we're going to reclaim approximately 3,000 tons of the asphalt that we're pulling up at the high school for bond work. Take it to back by the ag barn at the stadium, crush it, bring it over to here and to transportation, regrade the subgrade here, cut where we need to create positive drainage, lay that material out, grade that material, and then roll it with a roller after. So to provide an asphalt-like surface, not asphalt, but asphalt-like.
And I don't know if it was before your time, Simon, but I think we got bids to redo both surfaces with asphalt. And I want to say this was about $350,000.
Yeah, and I priced it what I've figured today. I mean, we're probably in the $700,000 range.
Okay.
Today's cost
Yeah.
to pave, so about a 10% cost over. And by doing this, we're not, it's a good product if we were to pave in the future as an under sub-base material. So we're not going to have to pull it all up if we were to pave in the future. So.
The only question I had is, and I've seen this done several times, so I'm 100% not against it. I think it's a good opportunity for us. I've also seen it done well, and I've seen it done poorly. I think a lot of it has to do with how fine it's ground. When it's more coarse, the finish is pretty rough and difficult to snowplow and so forth. So I guess that would be my only.
And I think
I wouldn't say reservation. I just say question about how the finished product's going to end up.
And I think we can definitely control that by, we are running it through a crusher. We're going to run all the material through a crusher. So I think we can, control our material and control our size of our aggregate. Yeah.
Right.
Because I hear you, yeah, if we end up, and that was our concern originally, that we needed it to be crushed to maintain size and quality, because otherwise we end up with irregular chunks, big pieces. It's not what we want, not a product that we want, so.
You said undercut, Simon, they are planning to undercut.
They're planning on, where needed, by the drives, parking lot, any of existing.
Well, here, I don't see it being such.
No, here I plan to pretty much bring it flush to the sidewalk where it's at.
Okay. But over at the garage.
Yeah, where we have existing pavement, existing, sidewalks, concrete,
Okay.
The road.
As long as they're providing
Yeah.
positive drainage.
Yeah, and that's for providing positive drainage, so. The bus garage is, we can only do so much over there, but we did have one complaint, I will say, from the neighbor there at the motel. He was complaining of dust. Recently, he was in here last week, so he was excited about this project, so to control dust and You know, I did call for some dust control, so hopefully there's a cost that we can eliminate in the future over there. So this material shouldn't kick up dust like
No,
gravel.
I haven't used dust control since I laid it down,
Right. So,
and it actually, what I saved in dust control paid for the material.
right. All right. It'll take us a while to pay for dust
Yes.
control, but
Yeah, 3
over
years.
time, definitely helps, so,
Hey, Simon,
yes.
has Champaign and Marks done any projects around town like this? Like any
I wouldn't say
examples or?
anything, yeah, I wouldn't say they've done anything around town. I mean,
Okay,
I guess I would use AJ as an example, he has used the product. Everything, all the, you know, I've talked to the engineer, you know, even Champaign and Marks, I mean, they're all, you know, it is a good product. You know, they are from Saginaw. They use it a lot down there. It's a hot commodity down there because limestone isn't readily available like it is up here, so.
As long as it's rolled quickly. That's-
Yeah,
that's
why
the
it's
other-
still warm, once it sets up, it
Yeah,
clumps.
Well, it doesn't, not even so much the function, it just doesn't bond together.
Yeah.
But
And our-
as well, it still bonds, but you get it more of a little bit of a gravel on the top. But if you put it down and you have somebody rolling it right behind you, I've got stuff that's, you would pull in my yard and think somebody paved it.
Well, and when they redid 32, I know there's a lot of people that were buying that and using it, so it's a common thing to do, so, yeah.
And it's our intent to have that project, you know, completed before the start of the school year, at least at the bus garage. Here, we may, depending on schedule and how things go, we could do a portion here, but the bus garage would be my first concern to make sure that gets done before school starts, because we'll have to relocate all the buses and go through that dilemma.
Drivers should have dry feet now or clean feet.
Yeah, and that's, I say, we're gonna, you know, hopefully impress the neighbors a little bit and, you know, job morale for our bus drivers for sure, so. Because that is a complaint I hear often, is walking through mud puddles and, you know, the bus garage parking lot is always a nightmare, so, especially in the spring and the fall, depending on the weather.
It did come in more than I expected. Do we have money for that? I see Mary.
Mary budgeted, yes, Mary budgeted actually quite a bit more than that, so,
Okay. I just,
yeah.
it was in a bigger chunk than what I had envisioned.
Yeah, I know when we originally talked numbers, we were a little bit lower, but I feel like that's a pretty comfortable number. Talking gravel costs, I mean, if we were to purchase that much gravel, I think we would be, you know, 3,000 tons of gravel at, yeah, so that's $33,000 just in gravel, and then, you know, to put it down, so.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the asphalt crushing project bid for $73,500. Anyone would offer that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Monica, second by AJ. Any discussion? All in favor? Do we need a roll call on the cost?
Yeah, we may as well.
Okay. Okay, Summer?
Member Lawson,
Aye.
Member Kaczynski,
Aye.
Member Fritz,
Aye.
Member MacArthur,
I,
Member Hanson.
Aye. All right,
Thank you.
very good, thank you.
Thanks, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
All right, I believe that was the bulk of it. So before we go into advanced planning, we did have an amendment, so we will open the floor to board member discussion or comment.
I just had a few quick things. The cross-country track, did we get that approved by the DNR then? Is that Simon or
We're
Dave?
still in conversation with them.
Yeah, we're still in conversation.
Okay.
They were looking at it, they've been busy with the ice storm. But I had a phone call is all I had with them. They were potentially only gonna They were looking at only granting us potentially 2 crossings, not
Okay.
the 3 that we were asking for. So that was via phone. I have no documentation or anything in writing on that, so.
Okay.
um,
Because they know it'd only be for the time that the kids are using it,
Right, and that's,
Yeah.
you know,
It doesn't make that much of a difference to them, right?
right, yeah, it doesn't, they don't look at
Yeah.
it like that,
Okay.
so.
Just
But
wanted-
we're moving forward with it, and, you know, we give the cross-country has permission to move forward, and we're gonna,
Okay, hopefully soon, so they can get in there and get going.
Yeah, and so we did post to the Run United too, that if we can't get that third crossing, so the 3 crossings are the current one to the stadium that we currently drive on, and then they're asking for 2 crossings, pedestrian for the cross-country track. So we told Run United that they may have to alter their plan so that it's using 1 versus 2. They seem to indicate that they could do that, but right now we're moving forward with hopefully them getting the 2 crossovers, so.
Okay.
and
And
yeah,
they've been down getting their paperwork filled out with all the, vendors, volunteers and everything, so ultimately, when we get the clear from DNR or the not clear, we're ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they have all their paperwork in and stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
they can start preliminary planning. I think they have most of they're
Okay.
ready, so.
And then the other question I had was the partnership. Are they getting their second room back?
We haven't made a decision yet,
Okay.
and that's, it's NEMSCA that's got the current rooms, and
Okay. Because, I mean, we're making a lot of money off of the partnership. $7,000 pure profit per student. And the program is growing, and I know that the space is very limited there. So I'd really like to see us really take a priority in this partnership and not lose out on money.
yeah.
So, just a suggestion. And then the only other thing I had was, I did want to bring up the incident at the Thunder Bay Junior High and the high school both. I don't know if I can say names or not, but I thank you for handling the situation so well. From what I heard from the students, everything was handled perfectly, so I thank you. But I do think we need to possibly communicate or be a little more transparent when stuff like this happens. When there's a report of a gun in a backpack and kids come home and say that, we're going to get an overreaction from parents. And I think just being very proactive with, there was a situation, it was a BB gun, no harm, just getting ahead of it, I think would be a really good idea. And then also at the high school, I know that it's the police, right, that make the protocol for lockdowns, or the Alpena Police Department.
So they're in the room with us when we ask, do you recommend moving to lockdown or anything like that?
Okay.
And so they
Do they
guide us.
Do they follow like a list of protocols for that? There's a lot of questions as far as why was the student allowed to get on the property in the first place? I know that all of E-House saw the whole situation with students standing at windows. I'm just concerned if the student was armed,
So that situation was in the police's hand almost immediately.
Yeah.
So those questions have to be directed to the police department.
Do you-
They were tracking him immediately. They were out in the community immediately.
Yeah.
They made that decision. We had nothing to do with that decision.
do you think I know that we had like a safety update, what was it, like 3-4 months ago, or second month I was here on the board?
Yeah, I think March.
Like, is there a way to get the protocol of what they follow for that, just so we can,
So the concern with sharing, and I said that at the time, whatever we share here becomes FOIA-able. So they are not going to give us their protocols, because if we talk about it as a board, it then becomes FOIA-able. When you're talking school safety and police procedures, they hold those very tightly, so that people don't know their game plan. Similarly with us, we don't want to reveal too much safety information about how we do things, because people can FOIA it, and they can, then if they're planning something, they know what we're going to do in every situation.
yeah. No, I want to make sure, it was right after the last lunch period there, and, you know, students walking out to parking lots, staff walking out to parking lots. We don't know what other school do you walk by, there's just a lot of questions, and I know a lot of the staff and students were pretty upset after the incident.
Yeah, you know, and that unfortunately is just sort of a product of these kind of situations. You know, there's a need-to-know basis, and, you know,
Yeah.
if you don't get every question you have answered, you know, it feels like we're covering things up. Again, I don't make these decisions by myself. I have an entire administrative team that's working with me on it, and then we also have decisions like the high school. That is absolutely the police. The sheriff was there, the MSP was there. They're all in the room helping us make these decisions, so.
Okay.
Does anybody know off the top of his or her head if there is a provision in the Open Meetings Act for discussing security in
That's what I was
closed
going to
session?
ask. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things you can go
Is
to a
that
closed
foilable?
session.
I know there is language now that you say that, so let me look into it and
Yeah,
see.
maybe we could have a briefing for the board in closed
But
session
if you're
regarding
asking
that.
for, like, we can brief on what we do, but you know, the police, I don't think, are going to give us their protocols for
Yeah.
us to discuss.
Well, the other thought maybe was have you know, maybe as long as we're not hitting a quorum or something, having interested, maybe at least a couple interested board members being able to be at those security sessions, you know, or you know, when you have those discussions.
What discussions?
Like we were talking about the safety updates, where I know we've had a couple of them where, you know, you administration and the police will discuss those kinds of plans.
Yeah, we do that, and that's an annual meeting, so there's
Okay.
that. But I was referring to, like, in those days where those decisions are being made because a student is approaching the building.
Oh, sure, sure.
No, I can't do that.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the annual meetings. Maybe-
Yeah, and I believe board members are invited to that every year. We sit down in August and go through our emergency operation plan. That is a, you know, just an annual protocol to do it.
Well, it would behoove us to get to those meetings then, I guess.
To
Thanks.
dive into it further, you know, again, the details and everything, we want to be pretty cautious. And if there is a closed session way that it's not foilable, I'm willing to do that. Just know that every situation is unique, and you can have protocols out the window, but it's going to come down to what's going on at that time and the people in the room making those decisions, so.
Thank you.
And I guess I had, you know, again, we had one person reach out to us on Friday or Thursday. It's my opinion that that person didn't like the answer she received from us and then went out on the Facebook post and posted it. And I'm not saying that person did it, but if people are out there naming children or naming families, that's unacceptable. Something like this, we always work on confidentiality, because nobody needs to have their name dragged through the mud in a social media or otherwise forum. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about what you're seeing out there, because I haven't seen anything. I know the news posted it a couple of times, but there was, as far as I saw, no traffic on that as far as comments. And I'll talk to you later.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, again, there is a level of confidentiality in these situations, and nobody should be trying to solve these problems out on Facebook, and nobody should be out there trying to stir up problems either. So it's disappointing. And if you got 5 minutes, I'll talk to you.
Sure, no problem.
Any other comments? All right, if not, we're looking at advanced planning. June 23rd is the workshop meeting here at the boardroom at 5:30. June 30th, the regular meeting, also here at the boardroom at 5:30. And with that, meeting is adjourned.
All right, thank you very much.